Hello everyone. In this session, we will be talking about the overview of Power BI Desktop. Also, in the upcoming sessions, we will be talking about the multiple features that are present in the Power BI. Starting with the user interface of Power BI, we will see how the user interface of Power BI is similar to different Office applications with the help of its ribbon interface. The next thing we will be looking at is the data. We will be looking at how can you get the data with the help of different data sources, with the help of other databases and the local saved files that you have in your desktop like CSV file or PDF file. How can you bring the data through them for the analysis? The next part would be data modeling. After you have brought the data into the Power BI, the next part would be the data modeling. In data modeling, we'll be looking at how can you create the calculated columns, how can you create different measures. Also, we will be taking a look at how can you use data analysis expressions, that is DAX, to create some custom calculations and aggregations within our model. The next part is the report authoring. So in that portion, we'll be looking at how can you create any report, how can you customize that report with the help of different charts and tables and the custom visuals that are present in the Power BI, and how can you add all these things in the canvas. The next part is the query editor. Query editor can allow you to perform different transformations, which would be including the filtering options, grouping options, and shaping options of our model. The next part would be the query editor. The query editor would be consisting of multiple things, that is the transformation of the data, the filtering of the data, grouping data, and shaping the data before it is being loaded in the data models. The next part is the report view. We will be taking a look at the report view and what are the different kind of things that you can do in that view. So Power BI would be consisting of three views. We will be talking about them one by one when we'll be going to that user interface. The next part is publish and share. So after you have made any report, the next step is to publish that report and share it with others. In this part, we'll be talking about those things. The next part would be custom calculations. In that part also, we'll be using some text formulas to create some different kind of expressions, to add columns and different measures in your data. Then we'll be talking about data exploration techniques. In that, we'll be looking at how can we use drill down features and cross filtering features. How can you go in depth of your data? The next part would be the data relationship. In that part, we'll be talking about how can you create relationship between different data tables in your model. Then we'll be looking at the Power BI desktop updates. So let's say if you are using Power BI and if a new update comes, how can you be notified about that particular update and how to look at the features that it includes. Then we'll be looking at the mobile responsiveness. In that part, we'll be seeing that how can we create some reports that are friendly when we are using it on the mobile. Then we will be looking at the collaboration part. In that, we will see how can different people collaborate on a single report. Then we will be taking a look at the offline mode. Let's say if you are on move and if you don't have any internet connection, at that time, how would you be able to use the Power BI desktop? We will be looking at those things. So let's go to the Power BI screen and see the user interface of it. In the last sessions, we were talking about how can you download and install the Power BI with the help of Microsoft Store. In this session, we'll be taking a look at what would be the things that would be on the screen when you open this application for the first time. So as soon as you open the Power BI, this would be the interface that you'll be looking at. Over here on the left hand side, I have this home option, which would bring me over here on the home. Then I have this open option. Let's say if you have any existing report and if you want to open it, you can use this open option. After you have created any report, if you want to save it, you can use the save option. Then we also have the save as option, which would be making a new report. With the help of current report, you can make a new report and rename it. Then we have this share option. It would create a shareable link for you for your report. Then we have this get data option, which would help you to get the data from multiple sources. So we will be talking about this get data option in the next session in depth. Then we have the import option. Let's say if you have any current file from which you want to take out some contents and bring it into your report, you'll be using this import option. The same thing can be done if you want to say, let's say if you want to share any content from existing report to any other report, you can use this export option. Then we have this publish option. This publish option would help you to publish your Power BI reports. So you need an account for that. So to create an account, what you can do is you can go in this sign up option and there you can sign in on Power BI platform. Now, the thing to understand over here is that Power BI platform would not support your Gmail, Yahoo, or any personal email IDs. If you have any corporate email IDs that is provided by your company or you have any college email IDs, then only you can sign up over there. Then you have this options and setting option. So let's say if you want to take a look at the multiple data sources that you have imported in your model, you can go in this data source settings. And here you will be getting a list of all the data sources that you have used in past. Now again, going to this option, the other one was this options. So if I go over here, it would give me multiple options related to whether I want to include Python, if I want to include the R library over here. So over here, the first one is the data load. So what would happen whenever you are trying to load any data? So these are some options that you can customize, which would save your time. Let's say if you want to say that it should detect automatically certain things. So what you can do is you can select these options. Let's say if you want to detect, always detect the columns type and header for unstructured sources. You can select this. Or if you want to say that detect column types and headers for unstructured sources according to each file settings, you can select these settings. So there are multiple settings over here for the type detection. Then we have for the background data, if you want the data to be refreshed in background or not, you want to see the previews for it, you can use these options. Then you have the parallel loading of tables option over here if you want these tables to load simultaneously. So what you can do over here is you can use these options. Then we have this time intelligence function over here. So we'll be talking about these options one by one when we'll be starting Power BI. But for now, let's say these options are over here and you have to make yourself familiar with these options. So like whenever we are working with these kind of things, let's say if you are working with the Python script in future, so you know there is some options related to Python scripting in the options, and then you can go over here in Python scripting and do the needful changes over here. So coming back to the data load, then we have the cache management option over here. Then we have this Power Query editor over here. So whatever changes you want to make in Power Query, you can make the changes from over here. The by defaults are right now enabled. I am not making any changes over here. Then we have this direct query option. Then we have this R script option. Let's say if you want to create any custom visuals with the help of R script, you have to install R first and you have to select the directory from over here. So all these things could be found over here in this R scripting function. It also gives you this option of finding out how to install R. So let's say if you don't know how to install this R, you can use this option. We'll be talking about it in the future lecture, but still these options are over here and you can make yourself familiar. Then similarly, we have this Python scripting option. So right now I have Python installed in my system. So you can see it is giving me the location of that particular file. Then we have the security option. All the changes related to the security would be shown over here and you can make any changes. Let's say if you don't want to use the filter maps visuals and map visuals, what you can do is you can uncheck this option and those map options won't be used. If you will turn it on, then you can use those options. Then again, if you want to use ArcGIS for Power BI, you can use this option and a new map option will be shown and different type of customizations can be done in that part. Then we have this privacy option. So let's say if you want to make some changes in the privacy levels, you can use these options. Then we have this regional settings option. So Power BI displays different information and it is based on different kind of regions. So let's say if you are based in any country which is not using English as a primary language right now, and if you want to show your data in any different kind of language, by data I mean this user interface part. So you need to change your language over here. So let's say if you want to use only English, what you can do is you can use this always English function. And if you want to use the application language, you can use this application language option. So now how to change this application language option? So we'll be looking at it in these particular sections. Then again, we have this updates option. So let's say if you want to update yourself as soon as a new update is launched, so you can update these notifications and you will be notified at the time when a new update is launched. Then you have this usage data. So if you don't want the Power BI to collect your data and send it to Microsoft for any use, so you can uncheck this part. Then we have this diagnostic option. If it is not running correct, you can use this diagnostic options. Then we have the preview features. So in preview features, what exactly happens is, let's say if they are launching any beta version of any particular option and you want to turn it on, you can find it over here. So these options are not available by default for now. They may be available in the upcoming updates. But let's say if you still want to use these, you can check these parts. For example, let's say if you want to use this shape my map visuals, you can turn it on, and you can press OK, and it would save the changes for you. Then the next part is save and recover. So if you want to make any recovery files, you can use this option. Let's say if you want to make a recovery file every 10 minutes, you can give 10 minutes over here. If you want to make every recovery file in 5 minutes, you can enter 5 minutes over here. You can put any custom number over here, and it would save a recovery file in those minutes. Then we have this report settings options. So if you want to make any changes to the report, you can do it from over here. The by default changes that are to be changed. For example, over here I have this page alignment option, and it says align the page to the top of the wallpaper. And the next one is align the page in the center of the wallpaper. So you want that page to be aligned every time in the center. By default, you can use this option. And if not, you can leave it as it is. Then you can also use this Copilot function, which is currently launched by Microsoft. So if you want to use this, you can go over here and then you can sign in over here. So you need a valid account to use this Copilot function for now. Then we have this data load function where it would detect the different kind of features that are present in your data by default. Then we have this regional setting options, and over here you can change the settings, and this is based on which country you are right now. So right now I'm in India, so I have chosen this English India option. And if you want to change the language again, you can use this option and you can change it to any other language. Let's say if I'm choosing this Dutch language, I can use this language. If I want to use Bangla, I can use Bangla. So there are different kind of languages based on which region you are right now. Then we have this privacy option, auto recovery option, publish data set option, query reduction, and report setting options over here. After you have made changes to your Power BI UI based on the different customizations that you need over here, you can press OK and it would save your changes. And it is saying me that feature requires a restart. So I again have to restart this application in order to save those changes. So let's cancel it for now. Then after you have made the changes, this is the first thing that you'll be looking at. This is the first part. So how can you come over here? Again, you can go on file option. And if you don't want to make any changes in this options, what you can do is to directly come on that screen, you can click over here in report. And if you want to see any particular Power BI videos that Microsoft has released, you can go over here in this part, intro part, and it would show you the recommended videos and the other particular topics that you can visit. Whatever recent files that you have used would be shown over here in the recent part, and whatever files have been shared with you would be shown over here in the shared with me part. So in order to use the shared with me part, you have to again sign in. So now let's go to the blank report option. Over here, you have got the option to create a blank report and you can import your data set basically over here. On the left hand side, we have got four views. So this fourth view has added recently. The first view is the report view in the Power BI, which will be used to create a report. The second is the table view, where you can view your data and what are the different columns present in your data. And if you want to perform any operations on the top of your data, you can also perform the operations with the help of this option. Then you have the model view, which will be used to basically do the data modeling on the top of your data set in order to create some relationship between the different tables in your data. You can use this view. Then the next one is the DEX view. So over here, you can write your DEX query. Talking about this report view, over here, we have this clipboard feature which would be used to cut, copy, and paste the things. And also, whenever you are creating any visual, and if you want to apply the formatting of one visual on the top of the other, you'll be using this format painter option. The next is this data view, which would be used to import our data. Over here, I have got the option of get data. So I can click over here and I will get the option to import the data from multiple options or data sources, you can say. So over here, I have Excel workbook, Power BI, semantic models, data flows, dataverse, and some of these things are also listed over here. Some of the common used elements. Also, if you don't have any data, you can click on the enter data over here and you can create your own data. So let me click on get data and I can click on Excel workbook and I will import one data set for now. It would be establishing a connection, that is it was trying to import that data set in your Power BI, and whatever tables would be in your data set would be reflecting over here. So currently let me just choose a single table. Let's choose this returns table for now and click on load. We'll be talking about this also on how to load the data set from the different sources. So allow it some time to load the data. Now, after you have loaded the data, if you want to transform the data with the help of Power Query Editor, what you can do is you can use this option of transform data. Over here, you have got the data source setting options also, where you can do some settings related to your data set. You can edit the permissions, you can basically clear the permissions. Also, you can change the source of your data set. Then over here, we have the refresh option, which is basically refreshing your data set. Then we have the insert option, which would be used to insert a new visual, text box, or some more visuals. So the more visuals you can basically import from the app sources or from some different Power BI files. Also, you have got this option of inserting the visuals over here in the visualizations. So we'll be using this visualization option over here. Then we have the calculation option. So in order to create a new measure or some quick measures, you can use these options. And also you can use this from this table view. Then we have the sensitivity option, which would be used to apply the sensitivity to our dataset. Then we have the publish option, which would be used to publish the dataset or the report in your Power BI services. Then we have also got this Copilot, which is still in preview. The next tab is the insert tab, which would be used to insert a new page, new visuals. So we have already got this in the home. Then we also have it in the insert option. So both these options are same. Also, we have the options to insert the Q&A, key influencers, decomposition T, and the narratives. We also have the options to add some Power Platform applications such as paginated reports, Power Apps, and Power Automate. And also, we can add some on-screen elements like the text box, buttons, shapes, and images. Then we have the modeling options. So here we have some options which are related to the data modeling. So for example, let's say if you want to create a new measure, quick measure, so you can find this in the table view, not the data modeling, but this is general modeling if you want to create some new tables out of your current data set or the new columns or the new measures. Now, what are these things? We'll be also talking about this in the upcoming session. You can do all these things from over here. Also, you can manage the roles and you can view as a different person, so whatever roles you would be making, and if you want to see the data sets and the visuals according to that role, you can use these options. Then we also have got the option of changing the Q&A setup and the language over here. Then we have the view option over here. We have got the different themes that you can apply on your report. We have got this page view where you can adjust the size of the page. We have got the option to apply the mobile layout to our reports. Over here, we have got the page option where if you would like to see the grid lines or if you want to snap any visual on the top of your screen with the help of this snap to grid option, you can do this. And also you can lock the object. So whenever you are creating any visual over here, and if you want to lock it, you can use this lock object and then you won't be able to move it. Then we have also got this option of filters, which is basically used to show this filters bar over here. So if I just turn this off, it won't be showing the filters option. So if you want to see the filters option, you can click over here and it will show you the filters. Also, if you want to see the bookmarks option, so you can click over here and the bookmarks would be coming over here. We will be also seeing how to use this in the upcoming sessions. We also have got the option to see the selection option. So here I can easily hide and unhide the visuals and I can choose to arrange the order of these visuals. Then I also have got the performance analyzer to see how each visual is performing, and also I have got the option to synchronize the slicers. I will turn this off for now. So over here, then we have got the optimize option, which is again used to see the performance of your report or any visuals. Then we have got the help option, which would be basically used to see the training videos, guided learnings, all the documentation and the support kind of activities. So coming to this canvas over here, I have this canvas where I would be creating some visuals. So I have some data. Let's say that I want to see any visual with the help of this data. So I can easily create it. So over here, I also have got the option to choose any visualization, whichever visualization I want to create. Let's say that I want to create a stacked bar chart. So I can use this if I want to create the stacked column chart. So how to create this? You just have to drag and drop these visuals over here, or you can also click over here and you can then adjust the size of these visuals. So currently I think it is locked. After unlocking, you can just increase or decrease the size of these visuals as per your need. Also, we have got the different visualizations over here and all the supporting data related to this visualizations can be entered over here. On the right hand side, we have got this data option, which is basically showing all the columns available in your data set. If you want to see these columns, what you can do is you can go in the table view and here you can see the columns which are in our data set. Now you can see I have also got these blank columns over here. So over here in the table tools, what you can do is you can fill in these columns with the help of some other information by using these columns. And if you don't need these columns, you can go in the other Power Query editor option and you can delete these columns as well, or you can just basically right click over here and you have got this option to delete it directly over here also. So you can remove the unnecessary columns from this part also. Then the next is the data modeling view. So over here in the model view, let's say that if you were having multiple tables and if you want to create the relationship between two tables, this is the view where you'll be doing all the kind of stuff. We'll be also talking about this in the upcoming sessions in more depth. Then we have the text query editor view where you can write the text queries to make some calculated tables, calculated columns, and new measures. So this was all about the Power BI desktop introduction. So in the next session, we will be talking about all these things in much depth. Thank you.